Meanwhile, Tyrion, you are with Nathan, and you're just kind of floating in the ether. Oh boy, where did everybody else go?
I don't know. This is this the phase? It has to be the phase.
From what I've known from the stories, this does feel like the Fade. Maybe can you see anything with your sniper rifle?
I'll try. He's gonna look around to like try to get his eye, like try to see if he can see anyone.
You're gonna look and see if anyone. You don't see anyone, but you do see a black city in front of you, straight ahead.
Hey, it's the Black City.
So it is real.
Yeah.
Hopefully the others will have seen it. Maybe we all should just make our way towards it.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and like go into my mind to see if I can telepathically message someone. Hey, is anyone out there?
You will telepathically try to message someone, and none of your companions respond, but you do hear a female voice say, Tyrion, is that you?
Mother?
You do recognize the voice as your mother. And a silhouette appears. You're not going to see like full on like features, but a silhouette, you can tell from the shape of the silhouette that it is indeed the silhouette of your mother.
Tyrion collapses his knees. Mother, you're here.
My son, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't able to give you a better life than you did.
No.
I'm sorry that you were born into the life that you were born into.
No, Mother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that you passed on. That I could have helped. Are you okay here?
I am, she says. The fate is peaceful, but it could be better.
Better than below.
It could be better than below. You all have the potential to make it better.
Yeah.
If you choose to do so.
I met Father.
How is he?
He's tranquil. I couldn't do anything.
It's not your fault, Tyrion. And it's not your responsibility.
I guess not. Not anymore.
You have grown up to be a good man with a good heart. Your hands, she sort of like takes a hold of your hands. They have helped so many people. I tried to teach you the ways of healing. I tried to give you the tools you needed to help others. And you did. Not bad for someone who wasn't even certified, she says as she smiles.
He chuckles. He sort of saddens a bit, but yes, these hands have helped and injured, but for the better. He sort of like he grabs like the hands like this. He holds them up and he puts his forehead on her hands. Mother, for all the things I have done out there, I know what I did and I am sorry for them.
I know. I know you are sorry.
I will do my best. I will do my best for the betterment of everyone.
You have the power to make things right again, Tyrion. I know that at the end of the day, you will choose to do the right thing. And no matter what you do, I will always be proud.
Thank you.
I love you, son.
I love you, Mom. Tries to sort of hug her, and knowing that the silhouette for her, but he can only hug so much until she passes, and he sort of looks down. Nathan sort of like in the back sort of stands up.
Nathan just lets you have that moment. He just kind of steps back and just,
He looks at Nathan. I think we have a job to do.
Yeah. Let's make her proud then.
For the betterment of Tatus.
Tyrion, you have the blessing of... What is your mother's name? Sorry. I didn't know if you gave your mother a name.
I am...
We never named her, as far as I know.
I never named her, no.
You can say the blessing of mother.
Do it live.
Do it
Yeah, come up with... What's your mother's name?
Do it now!
live. Come up with your mother's name.
Alita.
Alita?
I'll write it down.
Alitha. Okay. You get Alitha's blessing. At any point, 3 times during this session, you may immediately give yourself plus 20 armor.
Ooh.
Just flat out 20 armor absorbed. 3 times.
Damage protection.
And would that also... Does it affect penetrating damage? Like, if he takes penetrating damage, could he use the armor to, like, make it non-penetrating?
Yeah.
Just
okay.
Just nope.
I have 3 shields.
All right. Oh, also,
basically, you just don't take damage 3 times.
Yeah.
Basically,
right.
don't take
also,
damage.
question. For my thing, do I have to choose before I roll to succeed automatically or not? Or can I do it after I roll?
You may do it after you roll.
Sweet.
You may choose to do it after.
I changed my tactic, though. I wanted to know.
You may choose after. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Russo, you are in the Fade with both Violetta and with Corin. And again, you're very disoriented, and I think Violetta will say, "Well, here I am again," she says, looking around.
Normal trip for you?
The Guardians have been to the Fade once or twice in the past. She says, "Can't say it's my favorite of our excursions, but it will do if we must."
Well, you know more about this place than me, so...
"Oh, I don't like this place at all," Corin says as he looks around. "Everything is wrong. Everything just keeps changing."
I'm just gonna survey the area. Is there anything, like, specifically that I see? Or, like, are we floating? Are we on a platform?
You're
What's
floating.
going on?
You're floating. You're gonna look around, and I mean, other than the random structures about, you're not gonna see anything of interest. But you do hear a female voice. "Rousseau. Corin." You know that who this voice is, Rousseau.
Yep. Mother?
"Hello, son." And she reveals herself towards you, and she has a very solemn look on her face when she is before you. There is a hint of happiness in seeing you after so long, but you also sense a bit of... There's an awkwardness, I think. "I heard that you found out the truth. Both of you." Corin stood agape, and all of a sudden his tough and stoic exterior melts away, and he's just like, "Mommy?" Corin says.
Yeah, I did.
"I'm sure you have a lot of things to either say or to ask me. So go ahead, You're not going to be able to succeed until you get whatever it is you need off your chest.
You know what? Fuck you.
She's just going to nod. And, I mean, she's going to stay if you have anything else to say other than that.
My only question is why? Why for everything?
Why did I take you? Is that what you wanted to know?
I think you know.
At the time, it was for science. I was an archaeologist. The scaled ones were a mystery that were unsolved. And I wanted to solve it. So I created that excursion. I was excited. I wanted knowledge. And yes, I did things that probably were not the most ethical thing for a scientist or an archaeologist to do. I admit that. I'm not making any excuses for it. And so yes, I took you. And then, after we did the ritual, I felt guilty. And then I grew attached to you. And because of that guilt, I wanted to try to give you some semblance of happiness, some semblance of family, since I took you away from yours. And then I guess, as much as I don't think you want to hear this, Rousseau, I did fall in love with you as my own child. So I guess your answer to your question is, it was all for selfish reasons. Selfish of me for seeking that knowledge, selfish of me for loving you and wanting to keep you as my own, as part of my family. Selfish for not saying anything to you because I was afraid of how you would react.
What about Dad?
I lied to him too. Your father, I didn't think he would fully understand everything. And I didn't expect him to.
Maybe saying the truth instead of coming up with a lie about infidelity might have helped.
This doesn't mean anything to you, I'm sure, but I'm glad that ultimately you were able to do what you did for Balin that I was never able to do for you, which was tell him the truth.
Russo kind of almost like leans into himself a bit. I don't know what to say. I want to hate you, but I know what I came from. I know what you did for me. I don't know what you lied of.
Russo, I'm not here to ask for your forgiveness. I'm here because whatever you need to say to me, whatever you need to ask of me, if you even want to say anything or ask me of anything, it didn't matter. I wanted to make sure that you went in at your best. And if that means that we walk away from this conversation with you ultimately hating me, that's what needs to happen. I accept that. I at least owed it to you to give you that opportunity, because I don't know if you ever will again.
Admit to me that the best thing that probably could have happened was that I was the one that died in Kirkwall instead of you. I'm I'm sorry.
For what?
For letting me harbor everything that I thought about you afterwards to think that you thought differently.
You have nothing to be sorry for. And there is nothing that I need to forgive you for, because there is nothing for you to ask for forgiveness for. You don't owe me anything.
Yeah, I really don't. But I still care.
That's nice to know. Thank you. I know you didn't say that for me. I know you said that more for yourself.
I love you, and I hope you found peace.
I love you too, son. And I know you will find peace. She'll turn to Corin, and Corin just says, I'm a failure. I know that I'm your biological son, at least. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm still making a lot of mistakes. And, the truth is, I was always jealous of Russo, because he was always the better one. He was always more like you and Dad. Which is ironic, right? I miss you. But I've dishonored you so many times. And I don't know if I'm ever going to have a chance to redeem myself, because I know I'm going to die soon. If not here, the Guardians probably will. I know that. I'm gonna see you soon, Mother. And I'm just apologizing ahead of time that I don't know if I will be worthy enough to be considered your son when I do see you. She sort of like takes a hand and she's like grabs a hold of Corin's hand. And she said, Corin, I guess at this point it doesn't really matter how much longer you live. It's what you do with the time you have left. That's really all I can say. This opportunity I just had with your brother Russo is an opportunity that's not supposed to be given to anyone. This extra time. Don't waste it, the time you have left. I love you. Warts and all. I will always love you. I'm just glad I got a chance to see you one more time before you and your brother play Grey Warden and Hero again like you used to in our living room. I don't think we ever fully repaired the couch the last time you both fought. She kind of smiles a little bit. Corin's gonna go in and he's going to give his mother a hug. And when that happens, she will disappear. Russo, I think that Violetta will, she'll wrap her arm around your side, around your waist, and she'll say, "Be honest, Russo, did that help or did that make things worse for you?"
I honestly don't know.
It's okay. We're gonna win anyway, she says with a smile.
Yeah. No doubt we will.
So Tommy, you can interpret this however you want. If you don't think it's fitting to call this Lyria's Blessing, it doesn't have to be called Lyria's Blessing. You could just call this Rousseau's Resolve, from being able to deal with the situation with Lyria. So basically, this boon, it allows you to automatically, whenever you hit a character normally, it automatically becomes a critical hit. It is just automatically a critical hit, and you can do that 3 times.
Are there crits in Dragon Age?
Critical hits, I think, means you. I'm gonna.
That's just a stunt. Like that's just a stunt.
some point.
Then I'm
That's
gonna
just
say.
some point.
Then I'm just gonna say it does double damage. I'll
Okay.
say that.
Yeah,
I'm
Okay.
just gonna say it does double damage. Cool.
And ignore armor, or still have
Ignores
armor?
armor.
Okay.
Yeah, double damage piercing. Double damage piercing. Okay. Pasha. You are in the Fade with Valor. And even though you are riding on Valor's back right now, you can't help but feel like you're flying upside down. Kind of. It feels really weird.
I think Pasha tenses up quite a bit, and then she's going to start remembering things that Dirtham has told her when he was during the montage sequence, and she's just gonna keep on track. Valor, we're going to the Black City. We just think of the Black City, and we will get there. Something magic. Something.
Okay.
Okay.
Pasha, because you're a mage, you're being in the Fade, you do feel extra like disoriented. And you can kind of feel things tugging you in every different direction. And you can probably hear the voices of various beings. They feel demonic in nature, however. I'd like for you to please roll me a willpower. Self-discipline, please.
Okay, come on.
Is this technically against spell power, Arc?
Technically.
You get a plus
8.
5.
Yeah,
Thank you. So that's a 25 with 2,
sure.
3 stone points. I don't know.
Cool. Pasha does not turn into an abomination.
What?
Yay!
That's good, right? That's good, not being an abomination.
What's the DC
But you-
on that?
But you eventually do hear a male voice. And the male voice speaks to you by your birth name. I don't know what your birth name is, if you were ever given yourself a birth name, Pasha, when you were born.
Her birth name would be a series of numbers.
Okay.
Because that's what every Kunari is assigned, basically like an assortment. Her Tamazrans did call her Duckling as a nickname, so if that's what she'd be called, I know, but otherwise it's probably like 70152.
I think the person will give that number, will actually refer to you by that
Okay.
number, and then he will say, at least that's what you were referred to when you were born. From my understanding, the male voice says. You've never heard this voice before.
Pasha goes bolt upright. She has not heard that code in years, and she's very suspiciously going to be looking around.
She looks around, and there will be a spirit before you. You don't recognize the spirit at all. You've never seen, even in life, you've never seen this person before.
Pasha fixes him with a stare. I don't know you.
You wouldn't. You weren't. You wouldn't know me. My name is D'Artagnan.
I have been told that everything in the Fade is a lie. How can I trust that?
He shrugs. I suppose I don't have any proof to tell you otherwise. Not that you would, as you said, recognize me anyway, since we've never met. But if you were to believe what I were to say, you currently are wielding my cutlass.
Pasha is going to examine this man's face, just to see if she can see any familial resemblance.
I'm going to say yes. I will say yes. So it's convincing what he says.
Who were you?
I lived in Ravane. Your birth mother were as well. She left me when she found out I was a mage. Magic, she was very fearful of. And I never was able to find her or you. She was pregnant with you at the time. In life, I ended up joining the Grey Wardens.
And you bound Corypheus at some point.
I helped reseal him, yes.
If my notes are correct, she went to Saharon. She converted. I believe she's a farmer now. I believe.
I see. Did you live a happy life? Is she living a happy life?
I've never met her. I can't say. I would assume she is content. She didn't run away.
And yourself?
I am happy. I have been content. I have 45 children.
That's impressive. I was curious. I could feel you enter the Fade, and as you can imagine, we don't get very many visitors. So when one of you enters, it is an unusual event that piques the spirits here's curiosity. I just thought I would at least steal the opportunity to meet you at least once.
We go to fight the remaining Magister Sidereal. I don't suppose you would have any knowledge, any advice?
Yes. This Magister Sidereals, from what I have been told from the other spirits here, they entered here once. They tried to invade the city once, and they're trying again. We are doing what we can to hold them back. We fear what would happen to the Fade if one of them were to reach the seat of the Maker, the throne of the Maker. But if one of you reaches the seat first before they do, perhaps the tide can be changed.
So, what you're saying is we don't need to focus on fighting them, it's just a race. It's a race to the finish.
That's my understanding, at least. It seems, however, that something is keeping the old gods from entering into the palace where the throne is. I don't know what that thing is. I'm not sure if that will be preventing you from entering in as well.
Okay.
I'm sorry I can't give you any more information.
That was very helpful, D'Artagnan. That was very helpful indeed, thank you.
Is there anything else you wanted to ask me about? Anything at all? I do not wish to delay you any further. My curiosity has been sated.
I think I'm all right. Thank you. It was nice to meet you at last.
It was nice to meet you as well. Perhaps our paths will cross again. And with that, he will disappear. Pasha, you will gain D'Artagnan's blessing, which means that 3 times you can just decide to just increase your defense by 20.
Thank you.
Essentially preventing you from getting hit as well 3 times, essentially.
Okay.
Last but not least, so Leon, you are going to be with Rosie. And Rosie feels very out of place here, and she says, I don't even come here in my dreams. This is really, really trippy. Is this what it actually feels like when you all are sleeping?
Yeah, but a lot less, I guess, intense. Sort of weird being here.
Why is everything so, I don't know, Jello-like in here? You know, it just keeps morphing. Like clay.
That's how you know the magic's working.
That's annoying.
Yeah, no one really knows much about the Fade. It seems to defy being learned.
Well, I don't think that's gonna stop you, she says with a smile.
Yeah.
You'll hear 2 voices, a male and a female. And the voices will say, so you've come at last, the 2 voices say.
Leon's a little taken aback. I knew that spirits inhabited the Fade, but I didn't know they would be cognizant enough to be here.
Do you say that to Rosie, or do you say that to the voices?
Sort of a little to myself, but out loud.
Okay. I will say that before you, these 2 spirits emerge, and they do bear a resemblance to you out of character. This is David and Clara Faust.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
They look at you strange. We're not your parents.
Yeah, you are. It's... Though, if you're going to talk about souls and the like, I've lived with you not long enough. I've experienced enough. You are my parents.
They said, you're Themiel. This is our son, they say. And a 3rd spirit appears. And you can see, like, this little boy with them. And, like, he's, like, holding onto their hands.
Hey. Well, I'm here in the Fade now. I guess I've got to keep that promise to play with you.
Yes, he says. The 2 parents will say, thank you, Themiel, for bringing our son back to us.
Yeah. I feel bad, sort of, I guess, squatting but not squatting in his body. Is he going to stay with you then?
Yes. We're finally reunited after all these years. David Faust says. and Clara says, but thank you for taking over and taking care of his body in the interim. We appreciate that. Rosie looks very, like, uncomfortable by this conversation. She hasn't said anything yet, but it looks like she really, really wants to say something right now.
Leon sort of squeezes her hand. I've got a lot of questions.
Go ahead. That's why we're here, David says.
Why did you do it? I mean, I understand from a humanitarian standpoint, but there were a number of actions where it seemed counter to logic. For example, the Chi Isles, you would at least, it was claimed that you had stolen research. Isn't that against studying? It would close a lot of doors for you.
We wanted to learn everything that we could, And that was the fastest way to do it. It was more efficient that way. You should understand. You seek knowledge all the time.
Only from a time standpoint, was there something pressing that you had to learn that instant?
Not particularly, if we were being honest.
Is there anything that I should know before continuing my quest?
You're an old god. You're Arthemiel. If anyone is to ascend to godhood, it makes sense for you to reach your full potential.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to him like that? Rosie's finally says. You claim that he's not your son, but he is your son. This was your son for many years before. Why are you talking to him like he was just a replacement, a temporary replacement for your son? The spirits don't respond to her.
He sort of squeezes Rosie's hand a little bit more. I may not agree with everything, but at least you gave me a second chance.
Rosie then says, I don't feel the same way. I think you two are terrible parents, Rosie says.
Yeah.
Spirits look at her and they sort of give her a disapproving look, but then they turn back to Arthemiel, not Leon, Arthemiel.
Well, to be honest, I would agree, but I mean, now just seeing you and the way that you're acting, guess I've cut ties with who you used to be. But I do have to ask, why all the blood magic?
It's part of our heritage. It's part of our bloodline. It runs in our family, and we're very proud of it. And we use it to our advantage when we can.
Oh, well.
It certainly helped you, they said.
Yes, it has, but I think that our ethics about magic are significantly different. I would say that now I'm part of your bloodline, but I feel more distant to you day by day.
You're an old god. You're beyond our bloodline.
Then why aren't you? It feels as if you don't care about me. It feels you treat me like I'm not your son, and then you claim that I'm an old god. And if I am an old god, why are you not bowing to me? I have given you your power, and yet you treat me like some third party.
David looks to his wife and he looks back to you and he says, "You're right. You know, you are right. We at least owe you that much, Arthemiel." And with that, the two of them do get down on their knees and they bow to you.
This isn't what I want. I wanted to be your son, but now you treat me like an old god, and now I guess I'm done.
Leon, roll willpower, please. Self-discipline.
Ooh.
If it's versus spell power, you have a +5. If not, fuck you.
28. Just.
You're not turning into an abomination yet.
Whoop. Ooh, that's good.
Which might be what the GM's trying to do right
Abomination
Oh,
old
no.
god. We'll be fine, guys. Abomination old god.
Fine.
We'll be fine.
Make sure your sheet doesn't say Halasair.
Ooh. So Leon sort of swipes his hand and uses just a little bit of magic to try to push them away.
You'll be able to push them away, and all three of them, or just the parents?
Just the parents.
Baby Leon seems to be cool with you.
Yeah,
He doesn't
baby
seem to
Leon's
have any
fine.
issues. You will be able to push the parents away, and they will dissipate, and baby Leon will remain, and will say, "Does this mean we can't play?
Oh, I've given us a chance to play now. I mean, you're free to continue on, but I mean, I figured I should keep my promise.
Okay, good. You know, you should definitely watch your emotions while you're here. I know from experience, bad things can happen when you let your emotions take over here.
You're right. He sort of offers a hand to baby Leon.
He'll offer a hand and say, "Thank you, Earthemiel, or other me, I guess."
Yeah, I guess this sort of makes us brothers now, doesn't it?
Try not to be too angry at Mom and Dad for too long. If you let the anger linger too much, again, bad things can happen.
Yeah, I guess I just sort of feel empty now.
Empty? Rosie says, "Why do you feel empty? You just found the truth for your parents for what they really were, and you were able to confront them and banish them. I wouldn't feel empty after that."
Yeah, well, it's like having, it's like watching your hero shatter. It's like watching an impression of someone you really looked up to not live it up. I guess I'm glad I burned their house down. Revenge.
Rosie looks a little disturbed by that slightly, but she's like, "We'll talk about that later, not here."
There's
Rosie
a few
says.
things to unpack there. Yeah.
Why can't you be your own hero, Leon?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a good role model. He squeezes Rosie's hand a little bit more.
She says, "Yeah, a good role model that will talk to you about burning the Faust's house down for pleasure, afterwards."
Well, I guess it happens.
I guess it happens then. So, the path before you will open up, and baby Leon will say, "It's the Black City. I'm not allowed to go into the Black City, but you might be able to get in. You're an old god."
Yeah. Do you know anything that spirits know about the Black City? Anything that would be helpful?
Most of the spirits aren't allowed in the Black City. We haven't been able to get in. But it looks like there's a whole lot of spirits surrounding the Black City right now. I don't know why. Looks like a party.
Can I do an insight or an empathy check on the crowd?
I guess? Sure, go ahead.
That's a 14.
From that distance, you kind of gather that they're repelling or defending the city from something.
Oh, hey Leon, one thing about big party crowds like that is it can get a little rowdy. Maybe you should go see if there's any other kids playing around, or go see your parents.
Sure, that's a good idea. How about you? Are you gonna try to go in to the party?
Yeah, it looks like there's some adults getting pretty rowdy, so I've got to keep the peace.
All right, he says. Maybe we'll play afterwards then.
Yeah, be good. He sort of pats the head. Like a little bit of candy, but I don't know if spirits can eat candy.
Probably not. Probably not.
Spirit candy. There's some random spirit candy.
There we go. Okay, Earthy. Can I call you Earthy? Mealy? Mealy.
I guess. Oh man.
Earthy or Mealy?
We'll work.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Buddy.
He says, and then he disappears. And yeah.
So I assume that's the blessing of buddy.
Yep. Leon's blessing is he gets a buddy. That's his blessing.
Nice.
You're an old god. You got enough. slap you on the back, and you're on your way. You're off to see the wizard.
Oh no.
As the Black City
5 wizards.
looms before you. First of all, Russo, you find yourself as you enter into the Black City. It's like you're passing through the barrier. It's almost like you're passing through a barrier, and as you pass through this barrier, everything shifts around you and morphs around you, until finally you find yourself in what appears to be an arena of sorts. But I know that it looks like there's water in this arena. It's not water, it's actually lava. Molten lava.
It's new Black Edition lava.
Yes. And on the other side of this arena appears to be this massive Magister Sidereal with a giant forge hammer as well. Hammer versus hammer. And he looks like he's about to go to town, basically. There does not seem to be a beating heart. There does not seem to be an exposed organ or anything, hardly ever, on this hulking man. And at least that's what I will say will happen. For whatever reason, you do not see Corin nor Violetta anywhere here for some reason. For Leon, you find yourself at the bottom right-hand corner on this screen. Rosie is not around. And as the scene around you shift, you find yourself in a graveyard. Suspiciously, a graveyard that looks very similar to the one that was in the Tirashan Woods. And I'm going to say that before you can see this twisted creature hunched over, and this maniacal laughter is echoing all around you. And suddenly several copies of this creature seems to be appearing around this arena.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
man.
Ooh.
It's good luck, Leon.
Move fast, Leon.
1 versus 6.
I'm glad you're the blood mage here.
Use your blood mage powers.
As for Pasha, everything that shifts around you as you enter to the left of where Leon is, it appears to be some sort of dock area. And before you, actually almost right in front of you, is this creature, this Magister Sidereal with a long flowing dress. And then I'm going to say that for Tyrion, you see before you, you're in a town square of some sort. And right now you're behind this, I don't know if it's a merchant stand or a tent or something. But you're behind this tent thing. There appears to be a viper-like darkspawn here, a large spider-like darkspawn here, a scorpion-like darkspawn here, and a bat-like darkspawn here. And then by this fountain, it's like the fountain with like a dragon structure on it. You can see this Magister Sidereal with chains around him, and he's kind of holding on to this chunk of green lyrium. Unlike the other three, it doesn't seem like any of the Darkspawn nor the Magister Sidereal even knows you're there. They have not detected your presence yet. You're still hidden from them. For the other three, however, they clearly know that you're there. And then finally, Dartham, you are in what appears to be a banquet hall of some sort. A large banquet hall, and there seems to be tables filled with delicious-looking food, believe it or not. And unlike the others, Darren is with you. I'm going to start with Dartham first, now that I've revealed where everybody is.
Makes sense. Cepheus was my master, so...
What do you do?
Immediately look around, see Darren.
Well, this is unexpected, she says as she looks around. I still don't know where everybody else is, though.
Do I recognize it as something akin to my master's banquet hall?
I would say it's similar, yes.
And he kind of smirks. Suppose this is where I would have fought Cepheus. Should we not have dealt with him earlier?
Oh. Well, that's convenient, she says.
Right. Let's look for some exits. If we're all separated... If I fought Cepheus, we probably need to go help the others. I imagine they're soloing Magisters right now.
That would make sense. So you guys are just going to look for an exit?
Yeah, I'm going to specifically try to find the Madman's room, because out of all of them, I am most scared of the Madman, and I also have the willpower resist, so I think
Sure.
I am most suited to fight the Madman.
Which direction are you going to go?
Can I roll a spirit check, a magic spirit check, to try to figure out where I can sense Leon or the Madman, like
Yeah.
sense for an old god or sense for blood magic?
Yeah.
Okay. Let us roll that. That is a... Oh, wow, that was awful. 21 with 2 stun points.
That was awful? Okay.
That was one of the worst rolls close to the worst roll.
You can sense the general direction where Leon is. You also feel that your ability to contact each person telepathically is starting to restore.
Okay.
It's-
So I'm going to look at Darren and say... I know where Leon is. Can I give a sense of where someone else might be?
With that roll, yeah, I will say you will be able to feel where everybody else is, where the other 4, and they do feel separated.
Okay.
Like all in different directions of the city.
So then I will quickly turn to Darren. All right, I know where they are. I think I can go help Leon with the Madman. I've been able to resist mentally. Do you think you want to come with me, or should you go after one of the others?
What do you think is best?
Okay, let me think. Darren. Who would Darren be good to fight? It's a strength check to break out.
While you're deciding this, Darren looks around and she points at the main table. I don't think we're alone, Darethim. And she points to the head table.
And he kind of quickly whip around, Livia's staff in his hand, flaring, before he looks, and he sees the figure there.
He sees the figure there. It's a spiritual figure that looks a lot like Ceres. And right now, Ceres is at the main table, and she's got a fancy schmancy set of tea cups and teapots and tea sets, and all around the table there's all these like stuffed animals sitting around the table, and she seems to be serving tea to this woman next to her, this doll woman with a fancy schmancy hat on her head.
And instantly, Darethim, like his breath just clenches up, and Darren would notice already tears start to form.
Is that who I think it is, Darethim?
He just barely perceptible nod, but Darren can see it.
Do we trust it?
And he'd slowly walk forward, and as he takes a step forward, because this is the fade, his image will shift back into his fully elven form. He doesn't change his body or anything, but he looks elven.
Sure.
And then he will slowly walk forward before he steps up.
Hello, big brother, the spirit says. You're just in time for some tea.
Hey, Ceres.
I haven't seen you for so long. You're so late.
And he would immediately rush around the table. He can't help himself. I'm not going to roll. And he wraps her in a hug if he can.
You'll be able to. In the fate, you'll be able to. She'll give you a hug back. She says, it's good to see you, Darethim. Mrs. Nesbit was asking about you. I think she has a little bit of a crush on you.
Oh, I'm sure. Sorry I'm so late. I got a bit held up.
We need to make sure you get some tea so that you can fight the bad guys.
Well, it probably has to be quick, but maybe as soon as I'm done, we can have the full tea party.
Good. And she'll like, I mean, it's all pretend. So she's putting like pretend tea into a teapot, and she says, "Good, because it sounds like they probably will need your help. They're all separated, and you can't help all of them at once, but you can still help them."
Yeah. Yeah. And he'd just slowly take the sip, and maybe because it's the fade, an actual amount of the actual tea
Sure.
is in the cup, and it
Yeah,
tastes
sure.
like nutmeg.
So what is your plan?
Hit them until they're dead.
That might be really tough, really hard. Each of them has interesting weaknesses and strengths, but mostly strengths. But do you want to know a secret?
Yeah.
They're all connected to each other, which normally helps them. But if you're able to affect one of them, it might affect another one in a bad way, to them at least.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate for them.
Yeah, she says. But you should be able to talk to all of them like you can normally, so that'll help.
Yeah. And you'll quickly finish up the tea. Well, do give my apologies to Miss Nesbit, but I'll be back soon.
Oh, of course, big brother. You know about the 2 dragons too, right?
No! And he takes up the tea again. Please.
She said, I think one of them's named Razakil and one of them's named Lusakan. They're
Yeah.
out there too. They're trying to get to the throne before you guys get to the throne. At least one of you has to get to the throne before they do. But we're trying to hold them off, she says.
Do you think we can get to the throne? Or do we need to all be together to do that? Can one of us just...
At least one of you needs to get to the throne. But once you touch the throne, you will ascend into godhood.
Okay. Alright.
Not all of you has to do it, but at least one of you has to.
Alright. Alright. Thank you, Ceres.
Uh-huh. Good
love
luck. I love
And
you
he'll-
too.
I'll give her one more hug.
We'll have a celebration after everything is golden again.
Of course. And he'll give her a hug and I'll kiss her forehead. I'll be back for tea.
You will, and Darren will say, I'm gonna pretend you understand everything that she was saying, and just follow your lead.
I did. Alright. Okay. And he quickly will go into his head and like just as everyone else is forming, he is going to say, all the Magisters are connected. If you affect them negatively, it could affect all of them. The old gods are going to the throne. I need to get there before they do.
Yeah, so out of character, I will give you a chance to talk to each other telepathically for a few moments before we start combat.
Okay.
So feel free to
So-
talk freely with each other.
So
right
I think
now.
the first thing that happens, everyone's gathering their moments, and then you immediately hear that barrage of information from Daretham. And I will actually then also use my cunning and such to lay out a mental map of everything, so everyone knows where everyone else is. I have pathways and shit, so I'm like,
Yeah,
here's
you have
the layout.
pathways. Yeah.
Do I know where to go for the old gods?
You know that the old gods are making their way to the main palace of the Maker, which is at the center of the center of the city.
All right.
And I think you can actually visually see them because they're not small, but
Right.
they are larger than high dragons.
Okay, good to know.
So
So yeah, Daretham just sends that off. Anyone else wants to say something?
Pasha's also going to add to that. There's some kind of barrier. It's blocking them. It might block us, but it gives us time. It's blocking them from reaching the throne.
Okay. Alright. So what, we just try to kill off the Sidereals?
Ignore them.
Oh, alright.
That's gonna be a little hard. I've got like 5 madmen.
And
I
I
think
have
only-
a forge right in front of me.
I have Darren with me. She can help one of you if you need it, or if you think you need it. But we need to get to that throne before the old gods do. I'm the only one not fighting, and I think the only one faster beyond a high dragon is Tyrion. But if you're not going to ascend, Tyrion, I'm willing to do it.
Tyrion's quiet. I'll try. I'll do it. Problem is, right now I need to get past four of these.
Well, if you're
Whoever
not going
deals with
to...
their stuff needs to work their way to the throne.
Alright, then I'll turn into a dragon and I'll start my way there.
Have you seen Rosie?
No, but if you all are alone, then maybe they'll appear after you deal with your Magister.
We have to fight them no matter what. I don't know if we can avoid them.
Who needs Darren's help the most?
Well, right now I'm mano a mano, so I should be fine for a bit.
I've got the Sidereal. I've got the Appraiser of Slavery, and he's not alone. He's got 3
4.
beasts. Or 4 beasts. I think I could handle it, but I have the advantage. Yeah.
Darren isn't hearing your conversation at all, but even though she can't hear her, she's just gonna say, "Let me guess, Tyrion's the one that I need to help out because, of course, he's being a whiny bee again."
And he'll say physically, well, the rest of them are fighting, well, Leon's fighting 5, Tyrion's fighting 5, the other 2 are fighting 1, so probably Leon or Tyrion, but to be quite frank, Leon's fighting the Madman, he's the mind control blood magic person, and I don't feel comfortable you fighting him.
So it's me rescuing Tyrion once again.
Like old time's sake. And then he'll say, alright, Tyrion, Darren's headed to you.
Alright, we'll have the. Alright. Start to come quietly. We have the advantage.
Yeah. He's currently stealth, so keep it silent.
All right. For the final time, everyone roll initiative.
And also, I will use however many chakra I need to turn into a high dragon.
Yes, you can.
So I will figure out which one I want to do.
Oh, I do. Alrighty, I'm going to use Master Quick Reflexes to reroll my initiative. Oh!
Because I'm gathering the speeds of the essence, can I kill my last karma to re-roll my initiative?
Yeah, and I'm going to say, just because karma has not paid you off yet, go ahead and add a +8 to this.
Woo!
Add a +8 to your reroll, just so that
Nice.
karma's comes back at you.
Russo running up to the forge right like a train, just like, I'm here! Swinging the hammer.
All right, let's do this. Final battle.
Woo!
Start at the very top with Russo.
I'm gonna say that the forge right very well just sees me standing in front of him.
Yep, and he's ready for you.
I'm just gonna look around, not notice Violetta.
You do not see Violetta.
Yeah. Well, ready to die, forge right?
The Forge Right does not respond, verbally at least, but in response he gets into a fighting stance as if to say, bring it on, bring it on. And he's brandishing he's basically like, he's brandishing his hammer, trying to compare his size to your size, his character to your character, you know.
Not even like energetic. Russo's gonna basically like knock the sling off of his hammer and pull it up. I will kill
Nice.
2 chakra points because I'm gonna electrify my hammer now that I have access to the
Nice.
full stack. So that's gonna do additional 2. Is it 1d6 or 2d? I'll pull the hand out when I attack. I'm gonna go my full 5 here. Then I will kill another 2
I'll find
chakra
it for ya.
points to fly here. and I'm straight up just gonna wail.
Yeah, attack him.
Shock weapons is a number of chakra, so you just get extra damage equal to the number you spend.
Okay, so 2.
So 2 lightning damage.
Yep, on top of whatever
So
I
that-
roll for damage.
So that is
For 10 minutes
training.
on all your attacks.
Yep.
Yep. And then will I also have time to make him vulnerable to lightning as I'm swinging if I kill another point?
I think, because I think it's, I said you get it 1 free per turn, right?
Okay, yeah. Then
1 free per
fine.
turn. So, yeah, so you can do it the next turn.
So that's 24 with 5 stunt points.
To hit,
Yep.
that will hit. Yep.
Lethal blow and double that shit.
I'm gonna do one of my 3 doubles, and I'm gonna lethal blow it, so I have an extra. Let me roll flat damage. So that's 22 damage doubled, so 44.
44.
Well, the
Nice.
lethal blow is also doubled, right? Because it's all damage doubled. Right, Hart?
The lethal
Yeah.
blow should be doubled, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just roll
2d6.
4d6.
Well, it should be 2d6 doubled, so it's just.
Yeah, I'll probably end up with a better damage stack if I do that. So
Yeah, cool. Okay, so which part of this is lightning and which part of this is the physical damage?
all of this is
Okay.
physical, then I just add 2 lightning on when I'm
Add
done.
4.
I see, okay.
Add 4
And
lightning.
you get an additional 1d6 of fire and 2 penetrating damage for ice.
Oh, yeah, okay, so add another 1d6.
So
So,
2d6, so that's 12 on top of my 44.
so 44, 56. This is all physical, but it
Physical.
ignores all armor. Ignores all armor for this whole attack because of his double
And then
thing.
I do an extra, how many d6 for lightning, Dom?
1. 1 for fire.
1 for,
Um,
yeah,
So roll 1 for fire.
I do need to know what the fire is.
5.
Good,
It's
nice,
10, it's
nice.
10 fire, 4 lightning, and 60 physical. No resistance on anything.
Got it, got
And
it.
then 4 penetrating ice damage.
I included that.
Oh,
So
cool.
okay, so 56 physical, 4 lightning, 4 cold, 10 fire, no armor resistance.
Cool, 56. Got it. So I have to do math now.